Hello there, welcome to this, a short video on how to strip down and to reseal a Daisy Powerline 717. Now this video should be good for the 717 or other variants such as the 747 and etc. So what I'll start by is I'll go with the tooling here, which is what you're going to need. Now I've got a screwdriver obviously for removing the screws, a small dentist's toothpick here which is ideal for removing the old seals, silicone seal. You don't want to be using any mineral based stuff with pre-charged rifles, and you might not be able to see it here, but I've got a small clear plastic tube here. I'll show you what that's for in a moment, and obviously the seals I'm going to be replacing. So let's make a start here. I'll take the pistol out of the box. Now at this point the first thing I want to be making sure is that the safety's on. I want to open the bolt. Now I know this is empty, but this is why and where this little thing comes in handy. I've seen some rather stupid displays of people putting a gun up to the light at the breech end and then sticking their eye to the muzzle end. And to be fair, it's not the wisest of things to do. If you take these little tubes, I normally use a bamboo skewer which will actually go around the whole length, and I'll show you though. Basically what you want to do is insert it into the muzzle end, tip the pistol back, let it go, and just a moment, let's see if I can show you here. In the muzzle there you can just make out the greyish white plastic tube there. That shows to me that basically the only thing in that barrel is the plastic tube I've just inserted, so it shows the barrel's empty and safe to proceed. So let's muzzle end down, take this plastic tube back out. Now we're done with that, we can discard it and put it on one side. Right, the next stage is screw removal. So keeping the safety on, I'll explain why in a second. You can undo the casing screws. Keep it nice and neat. Keep your work area tidy and put things to one side, and that way you won't get muddled up at a later time. So I'll remove 2 case screws as said here. There should be 3 in here, but obviously there's going to be some eagle-eyed people among them. Take the second screw out. Now the reason I've only got 2 in at the moment is I've had to re-drill and re-thread the holes. The previous owner had used wood screws and damaged everything. So I'll remove that now. There's the side plate off. Some more eagle-eyed people among you may realise that there is no rear sighting here. I'm waiting for a new one coming in the post. I do have one, but it's damaged, so I don't wish to use it. So now we've got this far, the next stage would be the pistol grip with the trigger sear in. Should just lift away nice and easily like that, so we'll lay that to one side. Now the next stage is to remove the rear side plate, which should just come away and small tug back, and there we are. Lay that to one side. Right, so this is what we're left with. Basically just the air tube and the barrel. So what I need to do now is, at the front here is the screw that holds in the arm. So if I undo this, oops, remove the screw and the plate. Again, lay it one side for later. Inside you're going to find this tube. Now it's designed here, I believe, for a flat plate screwdriver. Looks like somebody's had a right go at this in the past anyway. I do find a decent fitting screwdriver, just straight down, give it a little twist and a pull. It doesn't take a lot to get these to go. And once it starts, you basically just have to there we are, that's out. Lay that to one side. Now on top and bottom of the arm you're going to see 2 little black plastic spacers. The one at the bottom should actually fall straight out like that. Don't try riving the one under the barrel out. The way to deal with this, oh well, it just fell out, but I'll show you anyway. Ordinarily what you would do is you would hold the foresight here and you would pull on the breech end at the back which the valve sits underneath, and if you pull with just two thumbs, well, thumb, forefinger rather, if you pull it back, the whole lot should just slide out. The foresight will come away now, put to one side, and if I extract a little further, there we are, that's the valve and the barrel section out. Now at the front, I should be able to withdraw the piston as easy as that. So again, there's the air tube, put that to one side also. Now, what we're going to be replacing today is this seal here and this seal here. Now this is where the little pick tool comes in. Obviously you're going to be replacing these seals, you don't wish to reuse them, so the pick tool's fine. What you want to do, make sure you can see this, put the pick tool underneath the seal, make sure it goes right to the back, lift, bring the pick tool through up over the top, and with a little twist, pop straight off. Now exactly the same principle is to be applied to the valve. So again, pick tool under, flip, twist around, and off it'll come. There we are, two seals off in a matter of seconds. Now of course I've got the two new seals here. So the two new seals, and at this point let's have a look. Right, yes, I believe that's everything. So as you can see over the back here, I have the back plate, air chamber, and the foresight, screws, everything all set to one side. So now what I need to do is I need to put the old seals over there. I've got the new seals here. Right, so I need the silicone grease. And what you want is a small smidge, tiny little bit, so it needs to be on your finger there. Take your seal, give it a good old coat in there. Right. Here's the piston head. Just see, make sure you see that. Stick your thumb on the back and roll your fingers around. Pop. There you go. That's one done in, seconds. Again, a little bit more paste. Now, with the valve assembly, what I would advocate is slot the seal behind the valve assembly first. It's quite hard to get into some points. So you just flip that in, roll it round, snap, straight on. There we are. So now, let's get on with the reassembly. Here's my tube. So at this point, take the valve assembly and the tube. You want the square slotted side on the top here. You see it's square. The bottom end is rounded. There, you can just make it out, it's rounded. It's the thinner slot you want. And on the thinner slot, put the valve assembly into the thinner slot on the top. It shouldn't take a lot of effort. If it does, there may be a problem with the seal you're using. Now, before you push that all the way forward, take your foresight. In fact, wait a moment, no, you don't want that in yet. Let me think. No. Right, first, sorry, you need the piston assembly. So the piston assembly, again, should slide in once it's lined up. Nice and easily there. Straight down to the back. There we are. Then take your foresight. Foresight on there. Push the whole valve assembly from the back right through, double checking underneath obviously that there is not an issue with the seal catching the underbody in here. You'll see if I pull this back slightly. Just a moment. Right, see the seal just inside here. Make sure that doesn't catch as you slide the valve home. That's been fine. Then obviously from the front, start with a spacer. Slide a spacer onto the foresight. Bring the valve lever, or rather the piston lever, in to place. The secondary spacer onto there. The peg. Nice and simply says he. Once everything lines up, it just goes straight in, nice and tight like that, look. You plate over, and the screw. And what we'll do here, oops, magnetic screwdriver, is tighten that up. There we are. At this point, I'm going to pull on the valve here to let the air out so I can lower the arm. So I'll pull it out, carefully close the arm. There we are. Now let's start with the back plate. Make sure the bolt is all the way back. It's not too much of a faff, basically just twist it into place. And it should just drop in around there. There it is. That's gone straight in there. The next fiddly bit, on the top of here, you'll see this groove here. That groove has to fit behind, see if you can see it, on the end of the valve here. It's like a little mushroom. It has to slide behind the valve because when you pull the trigger it actually pulls the valve down. So to do this, steady hand, a very, very, very small amount of pressure on here. If you put too much on, you'll engage the trigger here, which is not what we want. So if I hold the back off the two parts together and just a small, now then, that's already been activated. Now, that's not too bad. I'll show you how to disengage it. Hold this lever forward. Does help if you put the safety off. Hold the lever forward and it'll disengage. Put the safety straight back on. You don't want to lose the ball and spring over here. Believe you me, you'll be on hands and knees for 20 minutes looking for it. Now then, try that bit again. So like I said, small bit of pressure on the back lever here. Off the two halves together. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there. It's striking it. So you need to raise just a small amount there. It's locked straight in. Lovely. So from here, now the valve's open, I can open that without charging. Take the front plate, or rather the secondary side plate. That should just drop straight into place like that. And then from here, it's a simple case of replacing the screws. Number one. Number two. Now, as I've said, I've just had to re-tap these holes to an M4 thread because the previous owner had used wood screws. Don't ask me why, that's just the way it is. So I've now got to cut down an extra bolt. But there we are, all done, and as you'll see, you can just hear it, it won't pressure up now. The reason being, to pressure it, I need to activate the sear by pulling the bolt back. Now the bolt's back, I know it's empty, obviously, now you know it's empty. So it'll be a case of pull the arm forward, you hear a little rush of air going in, then that's it. Close the bolt, safety off. Obviously I know there's nothing in here, but I'm still going to point away from people, and there you are. So what's that? Under 15 minutes, and that explains and shows you how to strip down and to reseal a Daisy Powerline 717 or other variants. I hope this video is of use to some of you, and if you like, subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a look at my other videos. Thank you very much.